She made sure that you heard her last words. She called Nigea Jackson and said, Blaise, you're scaring me. Nigea heard him say, you're scaring me. I know you put something in my drink. I knew my drink tasted funny. Let me see what's in your pocket. Let me see. I know you put something in my drink because I can't even walk straight. I can't feel my legs. You put something in my drink. You did this so something would happen to the baby. I think I'm about to pass out. Jade Benning ensured that you heard her words that night.
Was Jade Benning poisoned, or did she accidentally overdose? February 25th, 2003, central question the jury is going to have to answer once they get this case. Prosecutors say that, oh, she was poisoned. She was poisoned by Blaise Taylor because he didn't want a child, and she was pregnant and was going to keep her child. Let's go back in the courtroom and pick up the defense closing argument where we left off.
And you heard that call. You heard the desperation in his voice. He didn't know the address to give the man. You remember that interchange. So the only way to get the address would be to run to the front to get the address. And if you remember what he says, I want you guys to pay attention to this. He said the address is 1522-1550 Lebanon Pike. Most of the time when people give an address, it's only one numeric value. It makes sense that he ran to the front of the apartment or the condominium complex because that's the exact address he gave them. So then, after that, I went the wrong way. Then he gets off the phone with 911, and she calls back. So if it was 6 minutes and I'm sorry, the 911 call was almost 9 minutes. So that would take him right around to 9:47, and Nigea calls back to Jade's phone. And he answers. He didn't have to answer. It was Jade's phone. He could have said, I was dealing with an emergency. But he picked up the phone and gave her an update. Doing the responsible thing. Then after that, that call lasted about 2 minutes, she says. That takes us to around 9:49. EMS arrives at 9:48. And if you look at that slip from the EMS, because you'll have the right to look at the evidence, it's going to show you that EMS arrived about 9:48. And you heard him say, I can hear the sirens. I think I can hear the sirens. And then he goes out and runs to get them. Remember, on the call, the man says, put her on her side. So he did that. Then if you remember, as much as she didn't want to, she told you that Blaise ran out to meet them, at least at the door. So perhaps she rolled over while he was gone. We don't know. But nobody's calling 911 and doing all those things to help, only to put her on the side and try to kill her. So by now, EMS is there, so the time for cleanup is gone. Where was all this time for him to clean up? It's not there, because remember, those selfies was less than 60 seconds before the emergency call. The time just isn't there. So that's during. So when we think about during, there was only one person who called 911. Only one. As sick and as dangerous as it was described to be, only one person called 911. Frantic, running to get the address, doing everything that he could do. That's during. Now let's talk about after the investigation. Listen. What's unfair is 3 years later, Blaise is now held responsible to try to prove himself innocent, when one, that's not the law, and two, a lot of the evidence is gone. That's unfair. How can I prove my innocence when Detective Reese said he let the video surveillance camera get erased? How does the lead detective not get that surveillance camera that would have showed Blaise coming and going, Najee and Keontae coming and going? If he really ran to the sign, we would have seen that. If he came there with something in his hand, alcohol and or cocaine, perhaps we would have seen that on the video. If somebody else showed up there that day, perhaps we would have seen that. But they allowed it to get destroyed. Blaise didn't know that. Remember, he didn't get arrested for a year later. If he knew the burden was going to be shifted from what the law was, then maybe he would have done the investigation himself. But he...
Okay, attacking the investigation, knew that was coming. It's part of this case. Sonny Slaughter, your thoughts on the defense?
Oh, Ted, you know this is problematic, right? The investigation in this case is extremely problematic. I mean, the crime scene was contaminated. They did not obtain the information that they should have from witnesses. They didn't save the videotape. And while it's an attack on the investigation is what's required in order to bring a case that the prosecution can have to prosecute. So this is not an attack. This is an assessment of a failed investigation that should not have happened, especially when we have her best friend saying immediately at the hospital to law enforcement that she got this. She's an ear witness to what she believes is a crime because her best friend called her and she sounded like she was in distress. And they did not respond. They allowed the friends and other people to go back to the home with gloves, remove evidence, and then when they had the opportunity to investigate at the house, they didn't take food, they didn't take drinks, they didn't swab down anything. This is not a failure. This is an absolute clown show. And this is why Jade Dennings will not receive the justice that she received, because there was an investigation that was not only flawed, it was a complete failure.
Okay. Well, you're a law enforcement expert. You know it. A lot of defense attorneys, every case, you attack the investigation as part of the playbook, but there does seem to be a little bit of a there in this one. Sonny, thank you. We'll get a break. More of the defense closing argument in real time. The judge has just finished up with jury instructions, so this case is now in the hands of the jury. Stay with us. Back after this.